Hello and welcome to this pre-recorded stream, I guess if you want to call it that, of our Project Mimic development, basically. So if you don't know, I'm actually away this weekend, so I have pre-recorded this whole entire video. So unfortunately, I can't be there live with you to discuss the answer questions, but we do have question time on or every Wednesday where you can come by, ask me any question you like, and so yeah, that'll be on like normal as per usual. So hopefully you enjoy the show, and we're going to go through some Mimic development. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to start off with the reviewing what work has been done thus far, and talking about where the next steps are. So since the last time you saw me working on Project Mimic, we've released the game design document, or in its first iteration of the way, it's still obviously a living document. To Patreon members, so Patreon members have access to this document. They can read it whenever they like. I've also upgraded the version of the engine as well. So the engine was previously in 5.1. It is now in it was in 5.0. Now it's in 5.1 source engine, so it's its own engine basically, so it's own custom build of the engine. The reason why I did that is because I really wanted to have access to a lot of functionality that I don't normally have access to outside in just the editor you get inside the launcher. So making use of especially online functionality that is usually tucked away away from you inside a normal editor. So that got upgraded here. And since then we've been also messing about with some basic enemy stuff, working on with some animations. So here's an animation of one of the drones walking around, and I think it's finally settled on sort of that what we want to do with the Android drones in their sort of style. And the way I'm thinking at the moment is to do it very much like Mr. X from Resident Evil 2. So you got these hulking big guys basically stalking you through the halls of the ship. And this is what they'll look like. At least currently that's what they look like. So they'll be like just moving very stoically towards you, probably trying to take you out. So that's in development at the moment, working on some Android animations, do things like that. And the ship, I've been working, looking at different assets and trying to build stuff out the assets of the ship. Just to start fleshing out some of the spaces in the ship, because we are dealing with a horror game first and foremost. Environment plays a big part of that, so I want to start making some development headway on the environment and making that environment scary. So been starting to think about how we can put that in, working on the height of the drones in there. So I think I settled on like 1.25 sort of height for them. So like if I play this for example and just go up to him, you'll see that's like how big they are. Okay, yeah, so it should be fairly sizable. It might be a little bit bigger. We'll play about with that obviously later on when we've got AI working in the scene. But here I started putting in some assets to build out the environment a little bit more. More so you'll see that in the reactor. So let's go head towards the reactor. You can see it being lit up already in the room. Got this big reactor core type thing doing stuff, pipes and things. We'll put everything like sparking and other things up here, and here will be like the terminal where you can charge batteries and other things that manage power in the ship. But yes, just slapping a few things in just to add some context to some of the environments, so it makes it easier to manipulate them. Sorry for the yawning. But yeah, there you go. So we've got that in there, and everything else I think you've seen before. So there's obviously the observation sort of room, the mess hall, where you can see the sun. Put some plants in. Plants might be quite nice to put into place, and also put some plants into the greenhouse room. Head up there and showcase that. You can kind of see what I'm kind of trying to do with that room. And with a lot of the rooms, they're not going to stay the shape they are in or the layout they are in. we're going to be playing about with that and maybe changing the size of them, change the layout of them to add a bit more playable space in there, because I want people to be able to hide in spaces, so each room will go through a lot of revision stage at some point. But as you can see here in the greenhouse here, we've got UV lights to help feed the plant life in here. I really want to eventually make this place look overgrown, so it hasn't been tended to for a while, so the plants have just overgrown or died, or you know, it's a mess. I want to make it like a mess. And you go underneath them, like here, maybe the roots have protruded through. Basically like a little forest almost in this one little room, a mix of forest and forest foliage and mechanical design. But yeah, so that's where we at. We've got nothing else, I don't think, is in here, like asset wires. So it's just a case of like, so I wanted to go through and putting things in, just so we can start visualizing what this place is going to look like for the player. So part of that is developing the corridors. So I've been playing about with different types of corridor meshes. I've been looking at asset packs I've got here, and so far I'm settling on the workflow of generating parts of the floor or corridors as individual blueprints, because there could be a lot of repeated pieces in there, and I don't want to make anything weird by forgetting stuff. So we're going to try and package them all together and then produce those out in a actual shape to put into a hallway. So for example, we've got this blueprint here. At the moment, this is just using a pack level actor. So this is, originally started with the idea of using level actors to help do this, but I'm thinking of just doing that normal actors instead. Furthermore, it makes it able so I can manipulate them, because there's going to be power fluctuations for the ship, and I want that to be interactive and things like that. So lighting is a big deal here. So I'm thinking of making them just normal blueprints. So in the content for the level, let's go to the level content, and in here we're going to create a folder for I don't know, what do we call it? Buildings, space, I don't know, buildings. Basically walls, floors, ceilings, that sort of thing. So in here, we're going to create a actor. And we'll do corridor. And there'll be different types of corridors as well. For the purpose of making it easily identifiable which part of the ship you're in. So the ship's like in 3 levels. So you've got the lower level, mid-level, and higher level. And I wanted so each level had a different sort of theming or different style to the corridors, so that you know immediately what part of the map you're in, rather than trying to guess all the time. It won't look the same everywhere you go. So we do corridor A for now, and in here I want to make sure I put the right space in, the right shape, size, and everything else here. So I've got 4 grids here, so 4 meters by 1, 2, 3, 4. So about a 4x4 square there. So if I'm thinking about a 4x4 cube, I think, okay, I've got to make this 4x4 cube look good. That's where I'm at here. So let's start off with a 4x4 cube to help with this. And that will be removed later on. This cube here, the default for this cube is, if I go into the shape for this, I'll actually use this one, because I know this one is 100, I think it is. Yeah, 100, so I'll just make sure it is that one. Yeah, there we go. And we've got it there in the corner. That might be quite nice to have it in the corner. It's a bit easier to snap together like that. But anyway, doesn't really matter too much, because we'll be deleting it soon. So I just want to make that 4. So that is now the size of that space. So I need to put everything I want inside of here. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. So in here, we're going to add some meshes here. Now what I'm going to do, annoyingly for stream, is I'm going to put this content browser on my other monitor, so it makes it a bit easier for me to move things about. So I've got tons of packs that I've got from the marketplace I've purchased and downloaded from previous like 3 months going on there. So let's take a look at what we've got in here. So in corridor A, let's try and stick to a simple theme in here. I've got a wall piece I can put in here. Let's see where we're at with that, and that's a good size already. Look at that. Almost bang on. Well, it is bang on there. So that's what we're kind of looking for here, is that sort of bang on sort of shape and size. So if I keep it like that, that's good there. And we're going to duplicate that and move that, and I'm actually going to mirror it. And so the way you can flip this if you want, you just scale it by -1 in the axis that you want to mirror it in, and there you go. So I can actually delete this cube now because I've got the space I want this to follow. Yeah, so this is looks quite narrow actually. It's just to see what that actually looks like in space. I'm feeling like this may be a bit too much protruding out, but let's take a look. Let's chuck it in and have a look. So content, level content, buildings, corridor A, break that into our scene. Yeah, so here we're losing a whole meter, 2 meters, so a meter either side. Now, is this a big deal? Don't know. Let's put another one of these in and take a look, see what it looks like together with a lot of other things in here. So let's just duplicate that down and down again. Okay, so I'm going to play test this space and see what that feels like walking down that space. Now you may remember from the very first time we played this dev stream, we played about with the spacing and the size of the hallways. We wanted to get the player space to get past things but not be trapped. So I feel like this might be a bit too tight, a bit too trapped. If you've got him walking down there too, kind of want a bit more space, I feel like. So how are we going to do that? So basically I need to sort out what's going on here with these shapes here. Basically I'm going to take out some of the sizing and shaping here. So if I go into the corridor here, and I'm very aware of this sort of indent here, so maybe if I change the snap here to 50 and move that in by 50 there, and move that in by 50 out, well I guess more than anything, that gives us another meter of space inside the shape here, and we're not losing it. We're losing a little bit up here, annoying, but let's see what that spacing's like now. Let's see if that's any better before we go too far. So yeah, that's a lot better spacing wise. I feel like you feel like you're not just trapped completely. We have a bit of maneuverability around this space here. But keep in mind that the bits behind the wall, I guess, doesn't really matter too much because we'll be removing those later on anyway. So this space could work. But if I wanted to make the playable space even more akin to what we should be doing, move it back out to another 50. It gets us back to that full 400 gap spacing here, back to what we originally were happy with. And now we're not going to see it in here because the walls are in the way, but obviously we're going to get the full space of the floor. So thinking about it, this actually might be the best way forward with this, is to use this sort of spacing. I'm going to change it to unlit for now, and just start putting in the corridors like this, I feel like. So let's delete this wall piece that's going along here and start spacing these out. I'm holding down Alt here and dragging them out like so. Now, as I said, room sizes I'm not too worried about. We're going to be changing those a lot. Like, it's not going to stay this shape and size. I'm going to play about with it a bit. So if it does overhang, I'm not fussed whatsoever. Being flexible here. The main thing that matters is that in the corridor they match up and meet up with the other corners. That's what's important. Room spacing, not really fussed. So we can get rid of this wall here. Now I do have these lights that I've got here. So if I still want to make use of these and put them into here, that's something to think about. Obviously we've got these little lights up here which work quite nice. So maybe we could make use of those to indicate to a player where they should be going and what they should be doing. Overall, I'm quite happy with that little corridor section there. And so we can replicate that across overall on this whole lower floor. That way the player knows they're on the lower floor. So we're going to go for this sort of style. Okay. Obviously all of this is subject to change as we develop the whole game. But let's do the flooring. So in here we need to add some flooring in. So let's see what I've got inside that same pack. Because I'm going to keep the same sort of theming. Let's have a look, see what we have access to in that pack. To see what would fit really well. I've got this SM floor 1. Let's try doing this. What's this one look like? Okay. So that's what that looks like. Don't know. Got a few options here though. Just try this other one. Obviously, if you have any, if you disagree with anything I'm doing design-wise, you think it looks better, a different choice, please let us know in the chat and comments. It really does help. I will look at them for your advice and see what you think looks best. So far, I'm leaning towards sort of this one maybe. Let's take a look. What do we have here? That's too plain, that one. 4, 5. Again, too plain. I feel like I want a bit of industrial bit into it. Because we've got a lot of industrial stuff going on down here. So in this part of the ship, so it would make sense to have that here. So I think I'm leaning towards maybe this one. What's the difference between this one and this one? Slight different borders here. Let's take a look at that one again. Yeah, I think this one. I kind of like the guttering sort of look with the metal there. Yeah, I think we'll go for that one. And as for ceiling, got a few options here. I'm gonna just detach these from each other. I don't need to be attached. So ceiling, got that there. We're just gonna move that over here. Oh, very nice. Yeah, that's quite nice. And that would work well for our lighting situation. So that'd be good. We can use that for our lighting setup. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. What else do we have here? Let's have a look. So we've got that one. This one's a bit backwards, but okay. Like more like a hatch looking one, that is. Oh, it's the corner pieces. Don't want the corner piece. What's this one? Shaders. So very similar to that first one. Maybe we can use it to add some bit of variation. T shape. Oh, more. Oh, okay. So this is more like a T junction, sort of place. I see. Pipes in the ceiling. Let's take a look at pipes in the ceiling. Now, pipes might be a good shout because we've got a cryo room down the end of this corridor, and it might make sense to have like pipes to show it a bit more industrial. I actually quite like that. Okay, what if we turn it around a little bit? The pipes go the length of the corridor. Okay, so if I compile that and then go back to my world and see what this looks like. So now I can get rid of the floor, for example. And I can start seeing what this whole thing is starting to shape up like. Get rid of the ceiling. I'm going to get rid of these lights as well. We're probably going to put in some lights in a second to help set this mood of this scene a bit. But that's not looking too bad. The emissive light's working quite well as well. Let me take out these ones for now and see what it looks like without any lights. I think we do need something on these emissives to make them a bit brighter, or at least play with something. Maybe we can use one of those panels in that ceiling. That might be interesting. Let's play it and have a look. I'll just go into here. Oh, crap. Yep. Okay, that's not looking too bad actually. The light is bouncing around the room quite nicely. Not too bad at all. So what we will be doing with this is making it so that it looks like fairly clean, and then using props to help make it look a bit more battle worn or a bit more unique. We can also make them blueprints also customizable somewhat as well. So if I wanted to change the paneling at the top here to show a lamp instead of the cables and pipes, I can make that easily a tickable thing I can do. Okay. One thing I also want to put in here that I don't think I've put in here yet is fog. No, I haven't. Let's see what it looks like with exponential height fog in our scene here too. This is going to be more noticeable on like larger rooms probably. Or not at all. We can obviously play about with this a bit. Density. I've increased the fog quite a high number. Let's just show that light of my torch travel a bit further through the fog, but I'm not really seeing it. The reason behind the fog is to also give that atmospherics of kind of like leaking out, and the ship's kind of in disarray a little bit. It's not as clean cut as we want it to be. So let's actually increase that fog density. Let's try 5. Okay, let me just play from here. Now it's very dark. I can't see nothing. I think the fog might be just making it too dark. Okay. Well, let's delete it for now. We can play about with atmospherics later and try and make the scene more scary and stuff. But right now, I think that's looking okay. So we've got this unlit area we can have a look at and see what this looks like. So let's say, for example, I want to make this a bit more interactive, this blueprint. So if I go edit the blueprint, and over here go to variables, and we're going to say use light ceiling. And on the construction script, I'm going to take the ceiling out as a component and do set mesh. That. And with the static mesh here, we're going to take out our boolean and do a select node from here. If I plug in this boolean here, I can now tell this to what ones I want to use. So if it's true, I'm going to use that first ceiling that we found with the light in it. And if it's false, it's going to use the one with the pipes. That in there too. Compile, and I'll make this use light ceiling here editable. Okay. So basically I can click on one of these, and then on the details panel click on use light ceiling, and it will change the mesh to use different mesh there. That'd be quite an interesting solution to do, and that's something that's powerful about blueprints, is that it makes it a bit easier for us to turn things like that on. Let's see what that looks like together in there. I'll just play from here. So that light is lighting up this space quite nicely, just the emissive texture of it. Doing quite a good job. So if I can get by with using emissive textures rather than using lights, actual lights, do better. Lumen will perform a lot better when indoors, with that in mind. I'm quite liking this, so we can mess about with these and put emissive lights as well, in theory. I click on that mesh, open up that mesh. Yeah, there it is. So if I go to the ceiling material, we've got this emissive color of being multiplied by 100, which is obviously the brightness of the lights. So what I might do is actually edit this and make this a parameter. Light brightness, and say we're going to apply that. And even if I wanted to even use the same architecture in later on the ship, just change the color, that's simple enough to do as well. It won't be too much work. I've closed the thing, didn't I? Yeah. Right, so if I go to this in the folder, yep, I'm going to create a material instance of this, like there, and I'm going to use that as on this mesh here. So drag that out, put that in there. So nothing looks any different in here, but what I can now do is if I go into my corridor here and add another variable for brightness, and make that a float, I can now change that value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag out my ceiling material So I only want to do this if we're using the ceiling light. So if I drag that out, put a branch in, that makes sense. Okay. So the ceiling is going to be create dynamic material instance, and the source material is going to be this instance material that I just made. Return value, I'm going to take this out and do promote to variable. This will be the dynamic ceiling mat, and in here I can do set scalar value. Set, there you go. And I'll put in the name of the value there, which the name was light brightness. So I'm going to use that. I do light brightness. I'm going to plug in this brightness value, and I'm going to set the brightness value here to be editable and default to 100, so what it originally was in the material. But because it is editable now, if I change to lit mode and click on this one, I should be able to change the brightness down here and scale that down, and you'll see it now affecting the lighting of our ship here. I can really customize and tweak this whole object really easily. I've got a bit of a gap there. What's that gap going on there? Oh, right, because the shape of this is busted up with this. Okay, so there may be occasions like this where we're seeing little gaps and seams and things like that where the meshes weren't designed to interchange that well. But we can cover that up with props in a second. Put the brightness down here a little bit here. Add a bit of variation. So that's not looking too bad. Away from there. Yeah, cool. Yeah, we like this. Yeah, not too bad. So you can do some fun things like that. And basically we can do that for all sorts of blueprints for various things too. So we can like make it have a hatch, make it have a vent, put special effects on it. All that sort of stuff can be toggleable in the details panel. That's the power of the blueprints and the details panel and messing about with those things. It makes it very quick to put things like that together. Okay, so let's think about this space a bit more. Okay, well actually let's extend this out here. Let me delete what I've got here from making this another time. Okay, and I'm just going to, let me change this to unlit, easier to work in. Right, I'm just going to move this over to here as well. So let me get a good angle. Okay, so I'm going to control shift, oh no, shift and alt across there. There you go, so that space is the same. Cool. And move that across there. Yep. And again, not worried about the room size so necessarily. That'll be fine now. We delete these walls. And ceiling, we've got nothing there anyway, so that's good. Okay. Get rid of these lights. We don't want that. Any more? Get rid of that. Any more? No. Okay. Okay, so we've now got this junction here to worry about. So let's do a corridor junction piece here. I'm going to duplicate this piece I've got here. Do corridor A, it's still theme A, and we do junction. So what does this junction look like? Well, basically it's got to be able to support 4 pathways, this one. So I need a floor panel which works in multiple directions, so I can't use this one. I have to use a generic one. So we can use this one, for example. Hold on, for the floor. Could do something like that. That might be the best shout we've got. Alternatively, it's going to be probably something like this, which I don't really like too well. I mean, it may be alright. It's got a little hex pattern on it, but I think maybe, yeah, maybe that first one would be more in keeping with what we've got in the main corridors. Now, as for the walls, obviously there's not going to be walls here, but let's put in some column pieces, because if I just put this in as is without these pieces in, it's going to look odd. Like, for example, if I just drag that in, Like so. The corners won't line up with what we're trying to do elsewhere. So if I try to put in this piece here for these pieces, this, and then like this. If I now delete these wall pieces, you can see where the overlap of them is a bit broken. Yeah, because it's not designed for that overlap. Well, you'll see it when I delete these. Hang on, just deleting pieces. Delete this. Okay. So yeah, if I take this junction piece and take out the walls, delete that, and delete this, and compile and save. Take a look at that. You're going to see you've got gaps and overlapping bits. It just looks odd, a bit meh. So obviously we want to fix that. So what is going to be the best route is putting on like column pieces. So I'm looking in that pack. Let's have a look see if I can find anything in that pack that might be good. We've got these pillars here. So I can either make it part of the material, part of the object, or I can make it part of the world. Either way, doesn't really matter too much. I'm actually going to put it into the actor, I think. Then I can customize it and affect it there, but it's not a big problem. Okay, so we've got this piece here. That could work quite nicely. It's how to make it work though with the corner well enough. So if I change that to 45 degrees, 5 there. Oh, I've changed the wrong thing. 5. There you go. So let's see what that looks like. Does it need to be bigger? Does it work with that? I don't know. Let's take a look. If we are going to do that, it need to go a lot further back. Yeah, let's keep seeing what this looks like with this. Oh, let's move it back a bit more. So back to there. Let's see what that looks like. Not too bad. We can probably make it bigger to hide that seam even better. Yeah. Oh, hang on. We do have corner wall pieces here. So maybe we could do something with these pieces here to make the corner pieces. Let's see what that looks like if I drag that out here. What's different about these? They end a bit soon. They do end a bit sooner. That's interesting. Okay, so maybe I'll make these pieces more customized. Let's try deleting that and putting that in there. I want that floor still, which would be this one. Let's change the size. Snap here again. Put that back out here. Where's the wall piece? Corner wall piece. Let's see how this looks. Oh, interesting. That might actually do quite well. Yeah. Okay. Let's make this more bespoke then. I think. So I'm actually going to get rid of this junction piece, and we'll do it manually. So I'll put that in there. So we're not using actor basically. We're just going to drag in assets. In this piece here, we're going to get rid of this, and this one as well. And we're putting that corner piece in for that one. And yeah, okay. Do it here for this one as well. Passing that. Okay. The corner piece. Yeah, these corner pieces are working out. I like these. Okay. So when you're an artist, it's really just working with what you've got and trying to manipulate the design to meet the needs that you have. So I need this floor, please. Get that across like so. We've got a bit of a gap now because this piece is longer than the other piece, but that's fine. Again, working with the rooms as they are. Ceiling pieces. So we want the pipes. That across there. Like so. Let's put this ceiling in. This is what it sounds like by the description. Yeah, there we go. I might make a good junction lighting point. Cool. Right, let's take these ceiling pieces and maneuver them about. And duplicate them across so they can put them. Oh, do that across there. Okay, so that's what we're looking at so far. Let's just play from here and see how this. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. And it kind of matches his sort of styling as well, which is quite nice. Now we do have lots of little decor bits in this pack here that I've got. We can mess about with a few things in here, like flooring pieces, like vents, things like that. We can really play about with these and put things on the walls. Really customize that experience. Like there's even like gate hole things. Put this in, for example, in between room sections. You know, you got things like that you can mess about with. Different types of walls. You got like ones like these. Yeah, so I might scatter those about a bit in here. We'll see how that goes. See what that looks like with that gate in there. Oh, it's got nothing on this side. It's kind of useless. But this side looks nice. But yeah, that side's no good. So, we could probably double it back to back, maybe. But we'll leave it like that, I think. And so you've got vents and things like that we can make that with. Connector, what's this? Something like that. It's more like a yeah, what is that? It looks more like a security thing. Anything else? But all right, okay, cool. Okay, so we got all this. Let me have a look what else we got. There's quite a lot of things in this pack. We can put an extinguisher on. Extinguishers will be part of the game, which should be handy for that actually, because you'll be able to put out fires that pop up over the ship. What's this one? Box description. A random box looking thing. A big box. Don't know what the hell you use that for. Barrels. Classic. Lamps. Be interesting, especially when it comes to lighting. Okay. Vents and things like that we can put in there too. I can put in vent there. Wait to have snap for this. And we'll put one that side as well. Slant? What the hell's a slant? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I like that. It could be interesting with a few things. I've got some stairs that work quite well with that, I think. Pillars we've seen. Platforms we can mess about with. I know you can't see what I'm looking at, but a little nose. Pipes, a load of different pipes. That's quite useful. So, like as I mentioned before, like we've got the cryo section through this room here. So piping might be useful, especially for this room. We can really deck out the piping in here. So, like for example, taking this bit out, putting these in. So we've got big pipes and. Also, what's the difference between that one and this one? Okay, it's just double height. Connectors. Okay, cool. So, yeah, we could do some fun things with these, for example. Where I want these to go. It makes sense for this room to be really pipe heavy. Theme for this room is water. Do that. I realised I should really probably do it with snap turned on. Hold on. Again. That. There we go. Should I put it up against the wall? I need to turn it down to 50, I think. Yeah, we'll do it there. Okay, and then yeah, this duplicate across or up rather. And we can even mess about with these as well. Change that intersection here. Place with intersection. You know, you could do things like that, which is interesting. Could I do another one of these? Turn it around. Yeah. Got pipe end. Small pipe end. These little pipes. Okay. Slants. Hey, that's fun. Put one of those in. It's because it looks nice. Okay. But you can't really sit, can you? Let's actually swap it out for this one down here. And then move that. Yeah. We've got a big corner piece there. Do like that. That might be quite cool. And then we can do. Let's replace this with this one. Replace with one. Okay. There you go. So I can make it look like it goes over them a little bit. That's quite fun. Something like that. I'll probably make them color coded as well, just to add a bit of dynamicness to it. But right now, that's a good proof of concept. Okay, not too bad. As for like stuff on the floor, we can use these piping. What's this do? Possibly that piping. Small pipe. Yeah, I don't know what that would be useful. Just like a load of small pipe pieces. Basically, you want to just put like a bit of brokenness, debrisness in it. Like cabling things and things like that. Maybe like false panels are dropped from the ceiling. So So for example, maybe we've got this in here. Move that along here. And then... Wait, but then it looks a bit meh. Fallen. Wait, is it? Palette, anything decent? No. Yes, the things to play about with that. We'll see how we go. That's not too bad. We can mess about with the cables as well. Let's add a cable actor, for example. Now just tell the end not to attach and just let it drop down. And its length. Okay. Ideally want it to collide with the wall as well. Can't do that. Sing about with a bit of settings. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Oh, can't get over there. Oh, just about. There you go. So you got these cables here. I don't know about the cables. We'll mess about those. Maybe better off just normal assets. We've got a gap here to jump across to. And there's that piping going into work there. Very nice. Okay. Cool. Right, let's fix the spacing there going on here. So for that, we'll just use corridor A. Oh, let's turn on snaps again. I'll have to turn that off. Okay, so that is where it comes to in here. So that's not too bad. I can just pull the wall in a bit closer for that. That's not too bad at all. Okay. So other things we can do. So we're going to corridor A again. The viewport. We can help decorate some of these edges. So like the edges along here feel a bit too box-like. Maybe add a little bit of variation to them. So what's this? We've got ledge corners. What's this? I don't know what that is. I mean, possibly, or we could do the pipes. Pipe long. That again. I look like him. Yeah, I think it should be like one of those bespoke things we add rather than making it part of the actor. That's fine though. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm not really using this junction actor. I can probably delete that. as we're just now doing bespoke custom builds. But my inspiration for which was helping support the channel to grow. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all on Wednesday for our question time. Thank you and good night, everyone. Bye bye.